Okay, I'm doing 2 videos in one night, so I decided to put on a slightly goofy fit. Um, I'm gonna try to make this quick since my phone is not doing too great on battery. Um, Today's topic, the Clone Wars is not finished. If you thought back in the day that the Clone Wars Season 7 was your finale and closure to the Clone Wars, you would be wrong. Not that it wasn't well, it was great. I can't necessarily complain. The Rafa arc had its issues. But at the end of the day, I don't mind seeing Ahsoka live her day-to-day life. It was a great season. That's not the complaint. The complaint here is the void that I'm yelling into right now. Now, if you are with me, you know what I'm about to talk about. If you aren't, well, let me give you an idea at what you missed out on in Star Wars The Clone Wars. Now, we know that Star Wars The Clone Wars was canceled in, I think it was 2013. About halfway through Season 6, they had finished half of the season and animated the other half, and the first half of the season was released as Season 6, The Lost Tapes, but we never got the back half of the season. We wouldn't get Season 7 until 2020. Now, what are some of the things that we missed? One of my favorites, and you can actually watch this entire 4-episode arc. It's going to be clunky animation because it wasn't finished, but the Crystal Crisis on Utapau. Now, I am just going over a quick article from let me just cite this really quick so that I don't seem like a piece of shit. CBR.com, 10 canceled Clone Wars arcs that we missed out on. These are things that I already knew, but it's just easy to have this as a reference. And my computer wants to be slow right now. But the Crystal Crisis on Utapau. Now, this is so cool because we get to see Utapau before Revenge of the Sith. We get to see Okay, this arc is fucking cool. Anakin does this crazy shit where he goes like cowboy mode with 2 pistols and he's blasting people. It has to do with the collection of huge kyber crystals. They end up blowing it up in the end, but essentially it foreshadows how even during the Republic, Palpatine was gathering mass resources for the Death Star in advance. It's a great 4-episode arc. It's on YouTube. I would watch it if you've never seen it. Another great one that I haven't seen the full arc for. I've only seen bits and pieces and their final duel, and that is the Boba Fett and Cad Bane team up. Now, if you don't know, Cad Bane was actually taught at one point by Jango Fett. So we get to see this great relationship of the best bounty hunter during the Clone Wars and the best rising bounty hunter, who he'd have a somewhat soft spot for, but also doesn't want him to grow into too much of a competition because he knows how proficient Jango was. It's a really cool arc. I think they're on Tatooine, if I remember correctly, and they get ambushed by Tuskens. But they have this great scene where obviously Boba Mark? Who is Boba Mark? Boba Fett gets his infamous mark on his helmet with the indent. Now, the other thing is, I'm going to save this next one for last because it's going to piss you off. Yoda and the Bad Batch on Kashyyyk. Now, the Bad Batch were I never knew this until I researched this. I knew about some of the Lost Arcs, like the Boba one and another one that I'll get to, but I never knew about the Bad Batch on Kashyyyk. I knew about I've seen the Lost Ahsoka clip that became like her riding on the speeder before it became finalized. But seeing the Bad Batch before like their intro would have been great because we would have seen them without Echo more, and it would have been Yoda, and it would have just been more Wookiees on Kashyyyk. You can actually watch most of this on, or not most of it, parts of it on YouTube, but basically Ahsoka and Chewbacca are abducted by Trandoshans who want to hunt them for sport, and the Trandoshans were aligned with the Separatists to invade Kashyyyk. That's pretty fucking cool. I'm going to skip this one. I'm saving it for last. Rex and R2-D2 Stranded arc. It was reportedly inspired by Top Gun. It was going to be like a pilot fighter type arc where it was going to be really cool with R2 as the co-pilot. Ahsoka's origin. Everyone was confused where they had seen the original, like, young Ahsoka with Plo Koon clip. That's in the original Clone Wars. I don't know why people were so like, it wasn't in Tales of the Jedi, I swear I've seen this. It was in the original Clone Wars, but we actually got that in Tales of the Jedi, so Ahsoka's origin has been fleshed out, so we have gotten that. They use... Oh, should I wait? Should I wait? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. If you know, you know what I was just about to say. You know. If you know. The Return to Mon Cala. I actually liked the Princely Char arc. Weirdly. I don't know why. Maybe because Kit Fisto is just so cool. But, the invasion of... This would be a follow-up, which would open season... wait. Essentially... okay. This arc would serve as a follow-up to the Invasion of Mon Cala three-partner, which opened Season 4 and Season 6, centered on Rush Clovis. Growing centered with Palpatine's continual massing of power, Padme journeys to Mon Cala to seek support of King Lee-Char and Senator Tills in voting out Palpatine. When they refuse, Padme is forced to seek the support of the Quarren Senator Tekas, a secret separatist. So this is cool. This is when, you remember that line where Padme's like, have you ever thought about if we're on the right side in this? This is a good example of her maybe deciding that earlier on and then kind of repurposing it in the back of her mind. Number 1, Return of the Jedi. This one is top 3 with the other 2 I'm going to tell you. While Ahsoka's walkabout was included in the finished season of 7, or, oh my god, I can't read, dude. This 4-part arc would have featured Ahsoka discovering the Jedi Temple to be built upon an ancient Sith shrine. If you didn't know that, it's from the Ancient Republic. And that's the main reason why Palpatine was able to disguise himself so well, is because of the dark side energy seeping through and clouding the judgment of the Jedi. And it would have climaxed with a quasi-duel between Ahsoka and Darth Sidious, where there's a comic where she's cutting through the door, and on the other side of the door is Darth Sidious, but she never actually sees him. The Sith Lord attempts to gain access to the shrine's holocron vault, forcing Ahsoka to weld the door shut with her lightsaber, while Sidious on the other side uses the saber as a conduit to blast her with Force lightning. While Ahsoka changes to Ahsoka's walkabout, means the story likely is no longer canon. The presence of the Sith shrine was confirmed in the 2014 novel Tarkin, which is post-Disney purchase. So it is canon. It just hasn't been fleshed out. Now, what are the other ones we missed? The first one I'm going to go over is, actually, this isn't mentioned in this article, but the son has an arc. The son was left untouched at the end with the daughter dying, and it's like, well, doesn't that send the Force out of balance? The son has an arc where he goes to Korriban and visits the ancient Sith and even talks to Darth Revan. That was something that they were going to have. But I guess George Lucas didn't want, like, the Sith to be able to live after death or something like that. I guess that makes sense, but they still had, like, a weird, like, presence of Darth Bane in his coffin. Even though, like, he was, like, dead, he still was, like, there somehow. I don't know. It was kind of confusing. I still don't really get it, if I'm being honest. I feel like the Sith have, like, ways to stay immortal, but they're kind of, like, brutal and painful and, like, unorthodox rather than, like, a Force ghost. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily immortal post-death, but having, like, tricks to stay alive, like Darth Sion, like Darth Sidious jumping body to body, or even, like, Plagueis bringing shit back to life with torturing Darth Tenebrae. But, okay, the Yuzong Vong abduction. If you don't know who the Yuzong Vong are, they're, like, the most terrifying opponent the Jedi could ever imagine, and they happen in Legends with Luke Skywalker. They're from the unknown regions, and they're immune to the Force, and they had yet to appear on current canon, but they were going to be in the Clone Wars. This arc would feature a single Yuzong Vong ship arriving in Republic space to scout the area for invasion, and spiraled into an X-Files inspired alien abduction story from there. The Yuzong Vong were reportedly going to be altered from their prior depictions in novels and comics without their immunity to the Force per George Lucas' request, but the arc would have played up a mystery around the horror effect. I would have loved it. Would have absolutely loved it. Because I love the idea of, like, because, like, it's pretty, like, well accepted that the Star Wars galaxy is only limited because it's just hard to travel to a certain extent. Like, once you get to, like, the messy space fucking minefield of asteroids. So it's, like, it makes sense that there would be other galaxies just like the one that we follow that develop in a different way and would potentially be able to cross those little tiny lanes to be able to get to the next one. I love that idea. Now, if you've been able to last this long, and whether you already know or whether you don't, this next one is going to piss you off that we didn't get it. It's going to piss you off. Want to know why? Because did you enjoy Darth Maul even a little bit in the Clone Wars? Did you? Did you like what happened with this character? I bet you did, because I know I did. Did you know that we missed out on not a 4-episode arc, but an 8-episode arc with the Son of Dathomir and Darkness Disciple? Essentially, this would focus on Quinlan Vos and Asajj Ventress falling in love and having an unique interaction, and Asajj's turn to the light. We never see her turn to the light post the last time we see her. It's a pretty open-ended ending for her. It's kind of like one of the most beloved characters where we don't see where it goes. Now for Dark Disciple, it is, or not Dark Disciple, excuse me. That's when Quinlan infiltrates as a separatist and slightly turns to the dark side. Son of Dathomir. There's a comic for it. If you've seen it, you know how amazing it is. It's not that I don't like comics. I love comics. But if this was going to be animated anyways... Bro, this is Maul and Dooku interacting with each other while Sidious is there. Maul and Dooku playing bullshit with each other, trying to team up with each other. Gar Saxon breaking out Maul. Seeing the Mandalorians show their loyalty. Can you ask for much more? In total, 54 episodes are lost in the Clone Wars. Now, this is a black void that I know not many people will hear me shouting into. But if you've gone through the trouble of listening to a heartbroken fan rant, maybe by liking and commenting what you hope to see most, gets this video a little bit of traction, gets this discussion buzzing once again. Because if there's any company that has infinite money that could produce any project at any time, it's Disney. And if there's any product that every Star Wars fan from 2000 and on would love to see, it's some Clone Wars style animation. We all love that 12-episode season. Imagine if we got 50 unreleased episodes that we were supposed to get in the first place. With that, I hope you were ready for this sugar. I'm off. I might not upload this until tomorrow. I'm going to get better at editing. My mic quality will improve. My camera quality will improve. As for now, I'm sorry. This is the best I can manage. I'm doing what I can. Have a great day. May the Force be with you.